This is day 609 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. I'd like to sponsor our coming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Please contact me directly. It'd be very greatly appreciated. They're doing Simon Shin Samech, Sif Yud, to Simon Shin Samech Aleph, Sif Dalit. So, we're still talking about Dina Mechitzas. Leil Simon Nun Hey, Nisbar, Kshesh Shturim, Shedium Nishach Biachad. We explained there are two dwelling places which are continuous. Gedola Ktana, a large one, a small one. Nifatzah Ktana ben Milula Gdola, and the smaller one is open fully to the larger one. The larger one has the remnants of has walls on each side of the narrower small chutzner. The Yurek Gdola we say that the dwelling place of the large one extends to the smaller one. The smaller one do not extend Bagdola to the bigger one. It's the smaller chutzner is negated to the Gdola. We have a kilo it's as if the person or people in the larger chutzner are standing also in the smaller chutzner. And vice versa. The Gimon Karpeh for Zebed side Zevir Benem, and therefore also in this halacha about the three people who have karpefos next to each other and they're in air between them. If the outer ones, again the barbell effect, are wider and the middle one is narrower, so the middle one is completely open to the outer ones. But the outer ones still have their walls on each side of the smaller one. Next, then the outer ones are considered as if they're staying in the middle one. And then they have the advantage of being a caravan because they both connect in the middle. They all three connect in the middle. That's a called targum. We give them wherever they need. Therefore, even the middle one is very big. They're still mutter. No simcha and follows also that as a result the chitzonim also get the outer ones also get as much as they need. The came shenasu shayar be'emtza, since they make a caravan in the middle. Havul chitzonim kechotzim tzay, the outer sides of the barbell are like they are a chotzer of the middle one. V'yeshu means some say they can't lo shayar chotzim tzay. Others say no, you can't. There's no chotzer for the middle one. Lamatzin zeh raklasos beishar. We only find this where we where you're making like a gatehouse, kind of inamokum kvius. I guess the gatehouse left dafka, but where it is a chutzner which is in permanent use of the house, and here there's no permanence here. Also, how can the other ones become subordinate to the inner one? The one in the middle to become like his chutzner? They're larger than him. So therefore, how can they become negated to him? Therefore, in the outer ones, heter only is up to base hasayin. And if one of them is more than base hasayin, either of the outer ones, that's I'm saying gamkin. The middle one also comes also because it is completely open to either one or to both of the outer ones. Mr. Bura is lenient here. Pasuk is that also the outer ones are permitted because they become a chutzner to the middle one. However, it's not worthwhile to be makel. Imul have pech. It's the opposite. That the middle one is bigger than the outer ones. I can say I'm saying now it's the outer ones which are completely open to the middle one. But I'm saying whereas the middle one has the walls on either side of the opening with the smaller outer ones. As individually each one. They can only get a base of sign for each one. Here, even when you say that the larger one, the one in the middle, controls the outer ones, the ones on the sides. It says the inner one is standing in one of the outer ones. It's only two. Either way it goes. It's only two this and only two that way. That's the base of the sign. So if that's the case, if one of the outer ones is more than the base of the sign, Hulavada also. Only it is also. If I'm saying mutter, the middle one's permitted. Because it has there's walls on each side of the opening. It's not considered to be fully open. Of course, as long as the pirza, the opening is not more than 10 amos. The Yosim Esser, if it's more than 10 amos, even their gipufim, it will have a kippurz milua, it would be like completely open. Actually, Dr. says even though it's going to be for sure more than 10, if we go make a cheshem what a base of sign is, how much it takes up. Yesh Lama Shishub Psakim Harbi, it's possible to say it has several openings. And each one is less than 10. The Imam Tzai Yosef base in the middle was more than base of sign, then the other ones and the outside are also as well. Sharei Hem Putzim Miluam, they completely open Makam Ha'oslam to a place which is forbidden to them. Zeh HaKok Shalom Echadu B'chol Echad Me'asholosh Kippah Kefos, this is when there's one person, each of these three karpefos next to each other. Your base, when there are two people in the middle, and one on each side of the outer ones, or two on each of the outer ones, one in the middle one, and the inner one is larger, and it has the remnants of walls. The outer ones are smaller, and they're and they're completely open in the middle one. The outer ones can do as much as they want, because the two guys in the middle are sholate. The one guy in the middle, that matters is the two guys in the middle. If it's one on one, so the guys in the middle sholate on either side, and if it's the two and two on each of the outers, so if there's one guy in the middle, he's sholate in each of those sides. If there are two people in the middle of one in the outer one, so the other one you have three. So to the other one, the other outer one. There's one guy in the middle, two each one of the outer ones. When he turns to this outer karpaf, it's three, and if it turns to the other outer section, same thing. Now you might ask, Shon says, don't ask. Why? How can they have be posech shtei sipim? How can they be shaykh to both sides, the guys in the middle? When there's two guys in the middle, one guy in the middle, how can you direct them to both? It's not typical at all. They actually are habitating the entire hekef, from one side all the way to the other side. According to the first opinion in the Sif Yud, even the middle one is mutter with more than a base sign, because once one of them is mutter, so the entire area is mutter. It becomes like a chutzner to them. It becomes a chutzner to the two sides. That's only if the middle one is larger than the other two sides. So we say that they become a chotzer to the middle one, which is the ikr one. But when the smaller one is the middle, of course, because again, then he's batel to the ones on each side. You give him a v'dash bar. That was none of that which he explained. The achas megufefes achas putzim milua nesasor putzim milua. That where you have that situation then of the walls of the narrow one, and then the walls of the larger one. That the narrow one is also because it's parts milua to the outer one, to the larger one. The female shows Simon Shinai down near the Bechut to show me Nida Mushum Lachi, Mushum Mechitza, Hanami having Mechitza, Mugufefes, the years Bechut, Kamala Prutza, Bimilua, Kamuvan. So, according to what's going to happen, Shinai that, we're going to learn that there's a concept of a Lechi outside of a Mavui, outside of a Chutzer, which is near a Bibachutz, Bishava Bibifnim. We can see on the outside, but not on the inside. That's the case. That's going to be the case over here, too. What's going to happen is going to have a case where the middle one is also sealed up from the outer ones. So to this wall, which is mekufefes for the larger yard, It's also Gala Putz Milukum, but it's also a Migufefes, the narrow one. The only way you have a Bittel Mechitza, which the narrow, the smaller one, narrow one has no Gifufim, is when its own walls extend into the outer mobile more than 3 tfachim. So then it cuts off the walls on the side and no longer be near Chutz B'Shav Evening because those walls on the side are back from the front of the Chutzer, which extended into a larger Chutzer, and they're not effective. That's correct. Everybody sees then that the wall of the enveloping wall of the larger one is more than 3 feet distant from the end of the smaller one. You look at if because where that's not the case, each one be considered me magufaf. In other words, it doesn't extend in. And the rock base sign, as it's all, you only have base of sign for each one, because they are separated by virtue of the fact that they have these kifufim which relate whether to the ones which are bigger, and even to the one which is smaller. Later on, all this is going to be explained. The law of a roof which is next to Shusarabim, and a chutzah which is breached to Shusarabim. If you have a roof which is adjacent to Shusarabim, it means that the house is not standing in the courtyard, distant from Shusarabim, but rather it's on the boundary of Shusarabim. Like our structures in the Arukh. And the roof is at least 10 tefachim high, like all the roofs are. But the side which is surrounding is it's not 10 tefachim higher. And the Shusarabim was somehow stepped up. Most prevalent case would be one where the roadway is more than 10 tefachim above the adjacent chotzer. Min Torah have Rishus Yachid Gomor. According to the Raisa, the roof is a complete Rishus Rabbi. It's actually 3 walls. Makes the Rishus Rabbi the Raisa. Even if you don't count the walls, towards Rishus Rabbi. Nevertheless, Rishus Rabbi is within 10 tefachim Rishus Rabbi. Many people use the roof. They put their, even though they're not supposed to, they're going to put their hats and their scarves there. When they are hot in the summer days, they take off the hats until the wind goes through their hair. So that's the case since there is this shlita, this control of the neighbor on the roof. The Baal Chotzer, who owns the god, can't use it until he makes it a permanent ladder from his chotzer. In this he reveals he'll remove this roof from the control of the Bnei Rishus Rabim. So if he wants to use himself, but it's a temporary ladder, doesn't work. Since eventually is going to take away the ladder, have a kamin sheino, it's as if it's not there. Based assume kavod, it's considered to be a permanent ladder. It's there for Shabbos and weekdays. And the couple of Shabbos, it's only there for Shabbos, not for weekdays. Oh, the couple of Shabbos, or for weekdays, not for Shabbos. It's not going to be a permanent ladder. Clearly, it seems to be the sum kavod gadol misum arai. Also, it's a larger ladder. It makes it more stable. The Kain Mashal Heri Be'evin seems quite clear. Every Mashal Tisham, the Sum Kavod Sergio Blo Pachos Mi Arba Chavokim. A permanent ladder has to have at least 4 rungs. Shlevos. Chavokim or Shlevos. I think they're still called rungs today, but maybe not. Maybe they're just steps. Einsham. Base. Vima gagava asar gam mitzvah shusrabim. If the roof is 10 feet high, also inside which is rabim. Answer shum. You don't need to have a ladder from the chutzner. You call same enagava asar tlaim. On the other hand, if it's not on all sides, it's less than 10 feet. Mamanisum. The ladder is not effective. Vava bishabai shebetocho gavoa. Even though the house inside it is gavoa asar tlaim, it's 10 feet high. And you call gago shusiyachin on roof. It's not shusiyachin ela karmelis. That's from the grass. Being mitzad rishus rabin gavoa asara. The side rishus it's 10 high. Side chutz and gavoa asara. Even though on the chutzner side that's not 10 high, gankin sur klum. You also don't need a ladder. So brackets here. Tais Shabbos Sivkon Al B'Shem Akos Shri. Learning says about Akos Shri. Come Dina King. So it's not Akos Shri. That's the law. Kozak Shrabim Kafin Gag. It's only when the masses in Shis Rabim shoulder the loads on the roof. In Makafim, if they don't shoulder the loads on the roof, ain't no tzarech klum. You don't need anything. But he says because of Me'atur Mashal Av She'ein Makafim. So it says from the Torah it seems that even they don't shoulder the loads in there. About Kosav the Gam Kaman as the Torah Kenu, they have to be shouldering their loads. Or somehow using that short, that's the low roof. Jump. Rashi be'er erevin and dal shita acheres b'zeh. There's a different opinion. Arzek shagam l'shita sa Rambam ataisis sham. We saw the Rambam and the Taisis. Kim a chutzner shli v'tzad milu. If you have a chutzner which is completely open, or b'yosem asor or more than 10 amos, l'shus harabim, magam machitza nidil karmelis. The place where the wall should have stood is zero karmelis. Shu nidil consider shus harabim. Just the same thing as the side of Shus Rabim. See the Shus Rabim, Lav Kushus Rabim, Dami on the side Shus Rabim, not consider Shus Rabim. The Gam Machotzer Atzmon B'Mei L'Shei Yasser also the Tazal Yosim Dal Ramos. But the Chutz itself, however, you also not allowed to carry more than 4 Amos. Shei parts Milo Yosim Yasser, it's open completely, or more than 10 to the street. Ava Miator Havakol Chutz L'Bam Mokom Mechitza, L'Bam Mokom Mechitza Shus Yor Gomer. But that's only the rice. The Rabbanan. Every place in the enclosure, except for the place where the wall should have stood, is considered to be a Shus Yor Gomer. Chenu Sham Misham, Avodas HaRambam, who the Kol Chutz having rice of Karmas. He also in the Dark Chutz, the Karmas the rice of some race in Shimon Hay. So that a long time ago in Simon Shimon Hay. Dalit, Avlim appear to rock master Amos if the breakage is only, the breach is only 10 Amos. Kosher Bechav says certainly if it's less than Harei Pesach. It's an opening. Mutter to tell. B'chol ha'chotzer. It's not a breach, it's an opening. You're allowed to carry the entire chotzer. Zerk shapitz meshel, because that's when the breach is in the continuity of the wall. Flush wall. But if the opening is on a corner, that's no good. Even less than 10 amos, also it's forbidden. The piece of Karen Zab is lovely in shape. People don't make openings on the corner. No, he must have came Pesach, but he made it just a Pesach on the corner. The mezuzah mashkov with the two mezuzahs. They're going to blank out. The lintel stands on the doorpost. Okay. So if you made doorpost and a lintel, it's legitimate opening even in the corner. But in the entire length of the wall, if you're lo tikna, lo mezuzah, lo mashkov, even if it's a complete breach, and then it fixes with either mezuzah or mashkov. Now Sheva is Pesach, Basar. If it's up to 10 amos, it's a Pesach. Koshkin Pachas even 10 amos itself. Koshkin Pachas so it's only less than 10. Is a Pesach. Right? Gavno, lo mahani b'keren zav is the Koshkin Pesach. In this situation, oh yeah, even if it's less than, assuming it's less than amos, when we're not for Tzvus Pesach, the Keren Zavis would be a problem, since it's Tzvus Pesach works. Don't bring down. That's where the best works on the corner breach. You should push because it's simple. It's not Lacham Moshe Sinai. Then Pesach Karen Zavis said there's no opening on the corner. It's just normal custom. It's a person who had to try making Pesach. It's not a concern. Now, since there's only one sif left, normally we'd finish in Samachalif in this juncture, but it's a very, very long sif. So we're in sif. Hey, so we're going to leave that for next.